Aisha El-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
on Pulse 95.
Surprise, surprise. Yes, it's Surprise Sunday. I know it's been a while. I hope you didn't miss me too much. And you're wondering, oh, where's Aisha? Well, we are doing this weird thing we call vacation tag team, where I take a vacation and once I'm done, she tags, she goes out, and I come in. I'm in the rigor for these 2 weeks as Aisha El-Mazmi is going to be taking 2 weeks off, well-deservingly so. And I'll be running the show here solo, but don't worry, I got you and you got me. It's been a while. I've been vacationing in Jordan, my home country. Had an absolute blast. Change of weather, and right before I left, I got to enjoy some of the rain. Just wish I had one more week because they were saying, oh, it's going to get a bit colder, and you know how hot it can get here. I know, and everyone complains, Mikey, why are you always wearing a hoodie? It's about the fashion, not the practicality. Again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to the Afternoon Cutock. So much to discuss. Everything from the Nintendo Direct for the month of September. Tons of game announcements, even gameplay trailers for games we've been waiting so long for. Specifically, Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3. I've been waiting like crazy for that. Also, surprise announcement from Illumination Studios as well as Nintendo. You may have not known this, but since 2018, they've been trying to work on a Super Mario movie. And lo and behold, it's been officially announced. They got the official casting for it. And you know what? I'm just going to wait until I talk about it because you'll be absolutely surprised who's in store for this movie. You can try to guess. Please be my guest. 4215. It's tough to do, but you won't see it coming. Also, guys, it's a momentous occasion for Sharjah because the 10th edition of the International Government Communication Forum is taking place as of today, as well as tomorrow at the Expo Center, Sharjah. The IGCF is all about bringing together senior government officials, leading in communication, as well as communication experts and world business leaders, all to explore the best practices in government communication. If you want to hear more about provocative discussions, everything from humanitarian issues, how governments should communicate with the public, and in this day and age, the age of information, be sure to go on to register and log into igcc.ae. Again, igcc.ae. Make sure that when you're going to the Expo Center Sharjah, that you're also taking care of that COVID-19 protocol, PCR testing, and all of that. Also, for drone and videographers enthusiasts alike, there's a chance that you can win 10,000 dirhams. If you want to hear more about it, be sure to stay tuned and stay locked right here on Pulse 95, the Afternoon Cutock.
Pulse 95.
I'll be honest, there's this weird, ironic thing that happens whenever I or Aisha take a vacation, and it's when that happens, some of the best stories, some of the juiciest news comes out, and it's like, well, I wish I was on vacation. And I feel this is the same case right now for Aisha, because the Nintendo Direct for September just live streamed a few days back, announcing some really big reveals, gameplay trailers for some upcoming titles for the Nintendo Switch. Starting off with the Monster Hunter Rise. This is a DLC expansion called Sunbreak. Nothing is really known yet regarding the plot behind this new story, but to Monster Hunter fans out there who are definitely excited for some additional content for the franchise, be sure to stay tuned for that. Of course, it's going to be a while before we hear anything. One game that I know I definitely, when I get a Nintendo Switch, is the Mario Party Superstars. This is, think of it as the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where they're not only making a new Super Mario Party, but they're actually bringing back some of the older titles and remaking it into a collection. So you're getting some of the old and you're getting some of the new, which is really exciting. If you love party games, you like bringing groups of friends and family and playing together, Super Mario Party does not disappoint. Definitely excited for this because it's coming out on the 29th of October. October. Also, we finally got an interesting reveal for a Kirby game, a new Kirby game called Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This is one of the biggest titles because Kirby is a well-known icon in the Nintendo universe, you could say. And what it's going for this time is a brand new 3D dimensional kind of game where he's freely in 3D. He's traversing this new environment, and they showed a pretty beefy gameplay trailer for it. It looks like they're going for a classic level approach with a lot of open-ended, open world, semi-open world design to it. And the plan for this game is that it's going to be released sometime in spring 2022. There's also a free update for Mario Golf Super Rush, some interesting new content that's coming on it, new characters, as well as some new playable courses. But the one that really got me going is honestly Bayonetta 3. Yes, Bayonetta 3. This has been dormant for a very long time. The developers, it's been so long since we got an announcement. The developers themselves had to go out and say, guys, don't worry, we're still working on this game. It's just gonna be a while. You know, we underestimate video game development and how long it takes for these games to come out. It's years in the making. So I'm one of those people that I understand, and I am a little bit patient. But Bayonetta 3, we finally got a pretty good 3-minute gameplay trailer of it. And there's just like this one quote she says, the character, she says, "I know I've been unfashionably late, but don't worry, I got everything that you've been looking for." And I'm like, I feel that's a little bit of a nod to the fans who've been waiting so long. From looking at the trailer, it seems like there's some really interesting new combat mechanics, such as conjuring enemies through the ability of dancing, and I guess you're going to use some sort of button combo. It's just, when you know it's Bayonetta, you know it's going to be absolutely crazy, which is exactly what we're hoping for. And we're hoping that it's going to come sometime in 2022. We also got more information about Splatoon 3, and it reveals that it's going to add a new element of creatures called the mammals, and there will be, for the first time in the franchise, a single-player campaign besides the multiplayer mode that comes with a Splatoon game. Also, fans of Undertale, I know Toby Fox, the creator, takes his sweet time with developing the sequel, Deltarune. He's been working on it on an episodic basis, so he kind of releases every once in a while a new chapter. So Deltarune Chapter 2 just came out, and it's actually for free. You can just, it's kind of like an update to the Chapter 1. So if you have Chapter 1, just download it for free, and you're good to go. I know people love Undertale, and for me personally, I have made this principle where I'm waiting until all the episodes, all the chapters come out together, and so when it has a full, complete collection, I will play it then, because I cannot bear playing a game, or at least an episode of that game, and then waiting a year, maybe 2 years, for another episode. I'd rather wait until it's all together and I play it in bulk. But guys, fans of Nintendo, if you've watched the Nintendo Direct for September, do text me 4215 and Salatu 2. What are some of your favorite highlights, your favorite moments? Because the next one that I'm going to talk about is a surprise announcement from Nintendo. You may have not known this, but since 2018, they've been working on a Super Mario movie, and Nintendo has officially announced the casting for this upcoming movie. And I'll be honest, guys, you will not predict this. I just wish Aisha was with me here, because the reaction that I got from this was, I'll just say, ridiculous. So guys, stay locked, stay tuned right here to the Afternoon Karak.
Pulse 95.
What can I say? You can't pass on that chance to win 10,000 dirhams. So if you got a drone, you are a videographer, you love making those drone shots, and you're probably posting it up on social media. But this time, if you do post it and you tag us at Pulse 95 Radio with the hashtag Sharjah above, you may get a chance to win 10,000 dirhams. Now, I'm going to tell a little bit more about the categories. There are two criteria you need to fulfill here. One is you need to go for more cinematic styles, as well as first-person view drones. So if you got if you went the extra mile and you have one of those the VR headsets where you're actually piloting it from a headset even better. But the point here, the criteria is you really got to go for some cinematic shots of Sharjah. There's a lot of great landmarks that you can go for, like the Al Majaz waterfront. You can go for Maliha. You can go for even Muweleh, part of University City, if you're a university student. The point is, go for it, because you never know, you might win that 10,000 dirham cash. Again, it has to be as short as 60 seconds, and you have to upload it on Instagram. You make sure that you tag us at Pulse 95 Radio with the hashtag Sharjah above. Now, moving on to our next story, and it's again about Nintendo. Tell a little bit more about it. So, Nintendo Direct, all these games and trailers and announcements, you can check it out on YouTube. But the next big announcement that came from Nintendo, and it's all about the Super Mario movie. Now, you may have not known this, but since 2018, Nintendo has been quite adamant in trying to take their most iconic franchise, the Super Mario franchise, and bringing it to screen adaptation. And it seems like with so many years and just complete silence about it, there's this notion that Nintendo has been very picky, very selective with who they're working with. And it was several months back when there was an announcement that Nintendo had the head of Illumination Studios part of the board of directors. So I'm like, whoa, okay, this is a big jump. This is some very interesting partnership that they put themselves into, which obviously me and Aisha theorized that they're obviously going to be going down the route of animating one of their franchises, specifically Super Mario. And lo and behold, we finally got an announcement that Illumination Studios and Nintendo are going to be working on a theatrical release for a Super Mario Bros. Animated film. This movie is actually going to come out in December 21, 2022. And they've even announced the ridiculously star-studded cast of voice actors. Now, let's start off with Mario himself. Who's the one that's going to be starring Mario? It's none other than Chris Pratt. Can you just imagine Chris Pratt, this, who I love him since Parks and Recreation, and recently he's been jumping into a lot of these action kind of movies, similar to Dwayne the Rock Johnson. But to play the character Mario, I hope he has a good Italian accent, because you really gotta dig deep. You gotta go, it's a me, Mario, And he even made a little Instagram video, acknowledging that it is absurd. But the thing is, we can't judge it yet because there's no trailer, there's no teaser of any kind. So I'm really leaving judgment for later. Also, for the cast of Peach, Princess Peach, we got Anya Taylor-Joy. I know Aisha I know she's okay with this. She's like, yep, I approve. So once we got Aisha approval, I think we're good from here. Then we have Charlie Day playing Luigi. Now, you may not know him, but he's quite famous in Sunny from Pennsylvania. What's it called? I forgot it was a comedy series. But like maybe if you watched the Horrible Bosses, he was in that Horrible Bosses 1 and 2. And then Bowser, the main antagonist of the Super Mario series, is going to be voice acted by none other than Jack Black. You got to take a sigh, like what is going on here? This is, when I tell you ridiculous casting, I'm telling you, it's absolutely ridiculous. There was even some other castings for some of the other characters as well. We have Toad, who's being played by Keegan-Michael Key. You guys know him from Key and Peele. Okay, I could maybe see that. But then we got Donkey Kong. And Donkey Kong is being voiced by Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, how do I describe this guy? Seth Rogen is the kind of actor that maybe he was funny when I was a teenager, but as I've grown older, I just feel like his comedic tone, his style has become a bit immature, and it's just like I've grown out of his type of humor, and in a way, like seeing him involved in this, it just feels like, okay, I guess you got to get a famous, funny guy in there, bring in Seth Rogen. So again, I'm leaving a lot of this judgment until later. Really, in my opinion, and I know Aisha would say the same thing, is that we're not entirely sure if the cast, because you can't see it. You can't imagine these actors playing these respective roles. And so we got to really be patient and give them the benefit of the doubt. I know Aisha would have gone on full rant here, but I give it a benefit of the doubt. We'll see how they will really fit into those roles. Until then, we're going to wait and see. The Super Mario animated film is coming out again December 21st, 2022. So it's going to be a good year and a half until we see anything about this, but it's happening. A Super Mario animated film. How do you feel about this? Text me 4215. It's a lot to do, but always love to hear from you. But coming up next, I'm going to be talking. It's a little interesting discussion. I like to bring it up every once in a while, just bring a little bit of perspective into it. And it's just that how did the pandemic change our way of watching movies and shows? Are theaters still relevant? Is it something that you feel the need to go out and watch, or have we become conditioned to just live streaming everything? Do let me know, and do stay tuned right here to the Afternoon Cutup.
This is Pulse 95.
The entertainment industry has been quite, shaken for the past year and a half. The pandemic has shifted a lot of the business models for these big production houses. Hollywood has also been in sort of like this shaky state for a while, where a lot of these movie productions have been deciding whether they should still remain in theaters or should they go into a more hybrid approach, where to have a digital release as well as a theatrical release. And when the pandemic hit, I think the first studio to do it was Universal Studios, when they finally made one of their movies. I remember at the time it was Trolls, the World Tour. They said, we're going to have a digital and we're going to have a theatrical release. And this absolutely enraged AMC, which was this big theater conglomerate in the US, because they know they were going to lose tons of money, potential tickets and blockbuster revenue because of it. And it almost like opened a floodgate for other production houses to do the same. One of the shocking moves that were ever done was from Warner Bros. When they decided that all of their movie releases for the year of 2021 was going to have both a theatrical and a digital release. And it was even shocking to some of their subsidiary studios, Legendary, who worked on Dune, who expressed that they were not informed about this, and it does affect them because they're the ones who fund these really big blockbuster movies. The budgets for movies nowadays ain't cheap. It goes from 50 million all the way to 200 million. That's not pocket change. And so when you're spending that much plus marketing, you better hope you're making your money. You better hope that you're breaking even and then some. But there was this mindset that streaming is king, right? That movies and having content on your live stream is so imperative, because that means you can lure more subscribers. And so we saw now the acquisition of certain studios, for example, Amazon buying MGM for like $7 billion, or NBC coming out with Peacock, their new live streaming platform, and Netflix doubling down on making all sorts of new refreshing content. The fact that they can have a new movie come out every week of the year is absolutely insane. And so it's almost like it's a fluctuating pattern where do we go back to our old ways and have movies come out in theaters, or do we just digitize everything? But then when this whole back and forth happened, people started getting used to live streams. We enjoy the fact that we can just watch things conveniently on HBO Max or Netflix or alternative links, and a lot of us kind of started having this discomfort of going to theaters, despite that there were no new safety protocols where everyone has social distance and we respect everybody's space, and you can't buy as many seats as you'd like. Again, there was this conditioning over time, especially during lockdown, that we don't need to go to theaters because some of these production houses were already putting digital releases. Even Disney with Disney Plus, they started doing premiere access. So why am I having this discussion? The discussion is, how did the pandemic change your approach with watching everyday movies now? Shows and releases of any kind. Are you more oriented to live streaming? going on Netflix, whereas are you still a theater buff? Do you love going out, buying that popcorn, and just going to watch that new cinematic movie out there, enjoying the experience as a one-time thing? Or are you a bit of both? Have we changed for the better? Or are we changing in a way that these big Hollywood studios and movie production houses don't really like? They don't like that we're always just at home, not going out buying those tickets for theaters. And so I think what's going to happen and it's already happened, AMC has signed up with, for example, Warner Bros. To have some movies go back to how it used to be, where it first has a restrictive embargo, where the movies come out for 60 to 70 days. It will remain in theater releases, and then it could then go to digital or DVD. But this time around, it actually got shortened. So instead of that 60, 70-day mark, it's now 45 days. And that could be the standard now. That could mean that movies will go back to theaters and will have exclusive releases, but they're not going to take that long. And it might even go shorter than 45 days because we've gotten accustomed to that instant gratification of releases. We want it now, okay? I don't want to go to theaters. I want it now. I love this hybrid approach. We've gotten used to it, and I think they know that the industry has to shift because of the demand of the consumers and adapt to how their styles of consuming content is like nowadays. But guys, you tell me, what do you think? And share your opinion. This is a discussion matter. I love to, guys, if you tune in and just share me your piece of opinion, text me 4215. It's a lot to do. I always love to hear from you guys. But guys, be sure to tune in because I want to talk a little bit more about our drone competition. So for videographers out there, if you've been trying out some drones, flying it around, and you think you can make a really good 60-second cinematic video, then you're in luck because you can win yourself 10,000 dirhams. Guys, stay tuned for that and so much more right here on the Afternoon Karak.
If you liked this episode of Afternoon Karak, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.